What's up, Heather?
What's up, B?
Looks like we're diving into a new bourbon tasting.
You are so skeptical.
Yep, I am.
So we are finally reviewing a bourbon named after, it's not actually named after, but it could be a character in Bridgerton.
If by Bridgerton you mean New Jersey, then yes, today's episode
Potato.
is basically historical fiction with corn content.
Welcome to Tortured Bourbon, where the proofs are high, the banter is strong, and today we're starting a 3-part series on a brand that has been blowing up, Penelope Bourbon.
Yeah. If this is your first episode, we're going back to the start. 4 grain and the wheated, there are 2 core expressions, 1 question: which one deserves a spot on your shelf, if at all?
I feel a little bit of bias that you're bringing into this episode.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Is it because it's named after a woman?
No, not at all. Jesus.
I'm kidding.
It's because it's basically clear.
That's fair. This expression is fairly light, but maybe you'll love it.
I might, yeah.
Probably not, but
We'll
maybe.
see.
If this is your first time stopping by, that's pretty typical right there. Do us a favor and click the like and subscribe button. B needs it for his validation, for his honestly entire self-worth, because he sits and refreshes the YouTube channel to see if our subscriber numbers go up. Was I not supposed to tell him that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Heather definitely doesn't want you to find us on social media. She would never want you to find us on X or Insta or Facebook.
Don't care.
Seriously, come look at our posts. At least we don't stage pictures of our kids on a random Tuesday to make some statement that we are great parents and require your validation.
You woke up and chose violence today, didn't you?
When I was a kid, we never came inside.
Oh, God.
We threw rocks and pine cones at each other.
Of all days to not have a starter.
We rode bikes without helmets, and at night we watched MTV for music, Cinemax for the education, and all our parents worked. And they knew that we were alive when in the evening we showed up at somebody's house for dinner. No one had cell phones. No one had social media. We were all fine.
Are you fine, though?
But now I have to do a YouTube show just to have sanity.
And if anyone wants to buy us a coffee, it can help us continue to buy bourbon for the show or pay for my therapy for having to deal with these two. Whichever comes first.
That's fair.
I was wondering where she was going to circle back to, and she landed that plane.
Yes, she did.
So, B, if you're all done with your 90s angst, can we get to bourbon, or do we need to have a full entire therapy session right now?
I guess we can start with the bourbon.
Well, honestly, what's better to treat 90s angst than 80 proof bourbon?
Oh, God. Here we go. This is going to be great.
So, y'all, a little history with Heather. With B's other favorite thing.
History, 2018.
What were you, 70 by then?
Yeah, it was 70 by then.
So you look really good for 77.
I'm friggin' hot.
So Penelope Bourbon launched in 2018, which in bourbon years, it really is a toddler, basically.
Kind of like you sitting in the chair. I'm really proud that you can walk.
But see, now also like me, this is one of those gifted toddlers who's basically in Mensa, who reads at age 2 and already has a little side hustle and will probably cure cancer.
No, it's just because you were from the mountains and the fact that you were literate made you that much high above everyone else.
You've just offended the entire mountain region of our great state.
They have internet? The brand was founded by Mike Paladini and his childhood friend Danny Polise.
Or Polise, if you're feeling fancy.
Yeah, I guess. And get this, Mike named the bourbon after his daughter, Penelope, which I have to admit is rather sweet.
That's really sweet, and honestly, she's going to turn 21 and realize her name is on half the back bars in America, and that is going to be such a flex.
Well, that and it will pay for her to go to college and drive that Lamborghini.
That too.
Now, the juice itself is sourced from MGP in Indiana, which is known for consistency and high-quality blending stock.
It's up and coming in the bourbon world, B.
Good God. But here's the twist. Penelope is all about blending multiple mash bills to create nuanced, approachable bourbons. And before you all put all the little comments, I know that half the stuff we drink is from MGP. Calm down.
Angst is strong with this one. So
Okay, Yoda.
Penelope has made a name for themselves quickly. Thanks to their transparency, their smart releases and marketing, and let's be honest, they have really beautiful packaging. It looks like it was designed by someone who, it's a lady who brunches.
I agree.
With her Birkin.
With her what?
Her Birkin bag.
Oh, okay. All right. First up, we have the Penelope 4-grain. Now, this is their staple. It comes with all 4 traditional grain elements: corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley.
So it's basically bourbon's version of the Avengers. Everyone shows up, but it all balances out to work well.
Definitely more of the Black Widow look.
I mean, she
That
packs
was
a punch.
my point.
She packs a punch.
I'm talking about in the design.
You're right, yeah.
Now, it's exactly 80 proof. Non-chill filtered and aged around 3 to 4-ish years with number 4 char barrels, but with number 2 char heads.
I didn't realize that the char levels could be different between the two.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't char
think about it.
Yeah, I mean, to char it, you've got to have the heads off. So you're charring the heads differently. You can't char it with the heads on.
That's fair, but I still would have thought they would have even. But I guess it makes sense.
You can order it however you want it. Yeah.
I guess I should think about it. So it's,
yeah, I don't know that it crossed my mind either, but yeah.
But now, the more you know.
G.I. Joe. Yep.
That's not. What's that?
At the end of their shows.
Thinking of Reading Rainbow.
Oh. A reading rainbow, Casanova, and ways to grow a reading rainbow.
I feel like I unlocked something there that you had kept deep inside for a while.
I can go anywhere. Ways to show ya. Prince and Nova, a reading rainbow.
I once saw a t-shirt that said 9 out of 10 rainbows can't read, and I did not understand what that meant.
Now you know.
Because I'm from Australia, and we don't have that there.
Now you know. Well,
we had play school.
That Reading Rainbow was top notch.
3 windows, Mr. Squiggle. Australians know what I'm talking about.
Mr. Squiggle sounds like a creeper.
There's a puppet with a pencil for a nose.
My original judgment still stands.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about this?
I will give you $5 if you can find a picture and insert it in that part of the episode of this Mr. Squiggles.
Go ahead and go to the bank because it's happening.
All right, so
it's right there, right now.
It's a blend of 3 MGP mash bills: one with rye, one with wheat, and one that's malt forward. It's kind of like the greatest hits album for grain. Pause.
I saw it.
It's Katie. Mr. Squiggle, and he's with the blackboard, and it's blackboard. He's like, hurry up, because Mr. Squiggle takes too long to draw the pictures. I'm serious. We grew up watching this.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow. Now, here's my...
And that's why she can go out and take a snake and do like that and kill it. And
that's
we're
right.
like, Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
All right, what should we be getting, B?
So here's what we should be getting on this 80 proof monster.
I wouldn't use the word mahogany.
No. The nose is vanilla frosting, honeycomb, cereal grain with get this, a floral lift.
Like
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Now, I get the honeycomb.
Yeah, the honey and floral. Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I just smell the honey.
It's just very, very, very light. This is like what you would spritz your bed linen with after you make your bed in the morning. Just that pleasant little hint of a scent.
Or just wash your sheets well.
Well, that too.
The palate is a light body, soft caramel, citrus peel, with marshmallow, and it says a little rice spice. We'll see. The finish is short to medium with soft oak, a hint of pepper, and some lingering sweetness.
So it's a friendly, easy sipper. It's good for beginners, casual fans, or brunch with Penelope herself.
So let's taste it. Let's see if this is, yeah, let's taste it, see if this is bourbon.
I don't hate it.
Well, no. I mean, I'm not going to set it on fire.
It's very sweet. Like a classic sweet. Floral, sweet. I actually kind of get the vanilla frosting. Like, it doesn't actually taste like you take a spoonful of vanilla frosting, but there's a definite like vanilla sweetness there. So what do you think? Did it exceed your very low expectations?
So if this is your first time with us, I don't want to paint the picture that I'm into manly bourbon. I mean,
No.
I generally am not an 80 proof guy.
Right. But
and I'm generally not a floral notes guy.
B is equal opportunity. Will try anything.
Yeah.
Like give
It's
it an
just-
honest like.
But I generally live more with your high cinnamon and spice and rye. I do know that Katie likes it.
Mm-hmm. Which makes total sense, and I
Yeah.
have a that's why I got excited because I have a reason.
Well,
for that.
I bet you're going to say it kind of has some notes that Scotch has in it from Highland Scotch.
That's exactly
or
what I
Lowland
was going to
Scotch.
say.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't hate it at all. I would prefer it if they bump it up about 15% alcohol
15 proof.
because it would give me just a little more zip. I think. I don't know that it would, but I think that it would.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind drinking an 80 proof. Now, where I disagree with one of their marketing things is that this will be great in your favorite cocktail. I don't find that 80 proof bourbon holds up in a cocktail.
I mean, you can throw it in there if your whole goal is just to get drunk from your cocktail.
Yeah, but if
your
trying to
goal is
taste
to
it-
taste it,
Yeah.
you're not going to taste
So,
it.
and I'm not gonna. And if I'm gonna use a bourbon not to taste it in a cocktail, I'm not gonna use a $39 bottle of bourbon.
you're
right?
going to grab a $15 to $20 bottle. Yeah.
But that being said, it's hard to buy a bad bourbon right now. Mm-hmm. Might not be one that fits your taste profile.
your particular
but it's
taste
hard to
profile.
buy bad bourbon, although we've managed to.
Not too often,
But we have. So I do not see this as a bad bourbon. I see this as actually it's very pleasant. Mm-hmm. It's very soft. It's very sweet. And you know what? Let's swing back in July when it's hotter than the gates of hell out here, and you
Yeah.
sweat just by looking out the window.
So we can't have gloss at our pool, but that would be a good thing to put in like a flask.
A container.
To take, a container to take to
Container.
the pool and just kind of sip
Yeah.
on during the 10-minute breaks when we're not in the pool with the kids.
Yeah, come see me. Yeah, come see me in July and August, and I might actually be a big fan.
I agree, and I do. So I did want to, because I was thinking with the cocktail. I agree with you. If this would not belong in any of your classic bourbon cocktails,
The buttercream and fresh apples is
and there's a little
Yeah.
pear there too, especially
Yeah.
on the end.
so no. It's
And I'm so glad because that's when I got excited when you were talking.
No,
It definitely
from a-
has a little bit of that
yeah,
Scotch.
so-
And it's got the sweet buttercream and fresh apples with layers of nutmeg and allspice, and then with a palate that's creamy, sweet dance of almonds and vanilla bean that finishes with hints of toasted macadamia nuts and a subtle kiss of tangerine citrus.
to me that's describing some scotches without peat.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little of that Scotch, like you said, the Scotch flavor at the end.
I'm complaining. I've sat here and I've had 2 pours.
Right, so you don't hate it.
No.
I get more pear, apple, that type of fruity and floral than I do a citrus in this one.
You know what it is? It's a pre-dinner drink.
It is. It's, and like you said, it's the hot, warm weather. Sip it. Even throw that over ice.
Now, I'll drink this before I'll drink white wine.
I'm with you there.
Because I used to drink white wine. It's too sweet now.
Could that be the white wine of bourbon?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good analogy because it does have some of your, more like your, do you want me, the current lingo. So apparently now everybody's calling Sauvignon Blanc Savvy B.
That is the dumbest thing
I
ever.
didn't create it. Have a little glass of Savvy B.
The younger
at brunch.
generation sucks.
Just saying. They probably thought we said some stupid stuff too.
They really do.
But anyway, it does have some of those notes. So I'm glad you mentioned white wine because it has, I usually when I drink Sauvignon Blanc, I get a little bit of that apple. Pear. Yeah. So it's a good analogy, B. So
where are you going to rank it?
I think it's a dog will hunt because it is lower proof than I tend to go for. The lack of aging and some other things. It's not super complex. But it's a very easy sipper, which is what we tend to say is our dog will hunt.
Agreed.
What about you?
I agree with that.
So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, aren't we?
So here we have their wheated 4-grain bourbon, which is a little strange because I think they're still advertising it as a 4-grain. They're just increasing their wheat profile significantly.
Right. Just to make it a wheated.
So it's a wheated bourbon. And, traditionally that means you're swapping out the rye, but they're still advertising it as a 4-grain.
Which means it's still got...
Yeah, it's still got
got
some
a little
rye.
of that rye in it.
But it's definitely going to be stronger on the wheat side. And in the packaging, you can see they have wheat stalks. Now, it's 95 proof, it's non-chill filtered, and it lives in that same range. But it's supposed to have a little less spice, but more mellow charm, which I'm kind of curious because the other didn't live with a real high spice. But what they did do here is they've increased their proof point.
Yeah, and I wouldn't... I mean, I don't know how this one could be less mellow than the first, because the first was very mellow. But we'll see.
Now, when you say same range, do you mean same aging range?
Yes.
Yes, has the same aging range, 3
to 4 years.
Yeah.
So if the full grain was kind of a full brunch buffet, this one's kind of narrowed in as just the French toast. You're not going to get every flavor, but what you do get is going to be very comforting.
Now, they say that we should get some baked bread, warm vanilla, and buttered corn muffin. The palate will have a creamy mouthfeel with honey and light fruit, which we're back to that apple and pear, and soft oak. The finish, mellow and short, slightly dry with vanilla bean and a touch of graham cracker.
So honestly, it sounds like dessert. But the question is it gonna, is it too soft and sweet to start and kind of stand out in the bourbon world?
In all fairness,
Honestly, maybe I'm just dumb, but this smells spicier than the first one, in my opinion.
You want me to answer that?
I'd rather you not.
Okay, fair.
I think for your safety and well-being, it's probably better if you don't. Do you see what? But it smells a little spicier. It could also just be smelling the wheat.
I think it has more body to it in the smell.
It has more body in the flavor too.
We can buy a bottle of that.
I'm gonna take exception with whoever wrote those suggested tasting notes.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I would not call that more mellow than the first one. And I get less of the fruity. I get a little more spice. There is still some fruity there.
We use the term grainy, but it has really good, for what it is, a good mouth.
Good mouth. You taste the wheat.
Mm-hmm.
Which that
earthy
wheat
sweetness.
Earthy sweetness, exactly. Yeah, with a hint of vanilla.
Now, I get where they're talking about it being a little dry.
A little dry and a short finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I get.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's a pleasant sip.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mad at it.
Mm-mm. Now, that being all said, I'd like to buy a bottle.
And it's a little higher proof than the first.
Yeah. So to me, that's a doggle hunt, and it's
a higher dog.
It's a higher dog. I would buy that one for me before I would buy this one.
Which makes sense for your flavor profile.
Absolutely.
And we can be thrilled because producer Katie is gonna love that one, the first one. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love both of them.
I think the moral of the story is everyone can find a friend in the Penelope family.
Well, I think maybe that is the moral of the story.
Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to try more. And we'll be completely honest with you. We have several Penelope options that we're going to get into, but we don't even have all of them.
No.
That's a nice little subtle plug that if you want to send us the Havana or the Rio,
feel free. But in your comments, if you've had the wheated or if you've had the 4-grain, please let us know. Our next episode on Penelope, we are taking 2 toasted and going head to head because they have different. Their barrels had different char levels. Same aging, same everything.
We'll see if we can tell.
So I'm curious.
I have a feeling you'll be better at telling the difference in these two because you're always better at oak and char and all that.
I don't know about all that. But
he's being modest. It's not my nature.
He really is egotistical. Well, that being said.
Until next time.
Until my ego shows back up. Cheers y'all.